Hey guys, welcome back to the Dion Gaming channel. Today we're going to be talking about the terminology word of the cat and the mouse. Now back then, this terminology was used in 2017. It may be a little bit different today, but we'll cover some of the differences that it may have today instead of what it was back then. However, I did saw some video on these days that terminology can still kind of be used because majority of the fight that I've been seeing on the gatherer is running away. Okay, let's head back to the 2017. During the 2017, there were another terminology word called the Care Bear. Care Bears were players who just stayed in the yellow zone or want safety all the time, 24/7. They want to gather in safety. They don't want to be killed or anything like that. They just want peace. The PvPers didn't have a terminology for that, so basically we just call them PvP or elitist jerk or anything like that. So the PvPer wanted to kill the Care Bear, and the Care Bear wanted to survive from the PvPers. That's where so many changes, such as the 5 seconds after dismount came about. There was a lot of balance in between that. So basically, gatherers were dying in massive amount back then in 2017 by the PvPers and by a lot of the PvPers. So during that time, there was a rise saying that, you know, without us, you have to gather these type of thing, and you actually have to buy you have to gather it, you have to refine it, you have to either gather it, then refine it, then craft it. That's all the thing that they had to do if there was no gatherer. Again, the PvPers said, well, without us, there will be no way for you to sell your stupid resources or crafting, because there will be no reason for people to buy it. There will be no activity. This is true and untrue, because if it was PvE, again, there would be still player buying the gear, but again, they will have to make changes where all the mobs, if it attacks you, you don't get knocked down, you'll just die. That could have happened, but then again, that goes the same thing for the PvPers. The PvPer could have just said that if there was no such thing as gatherer, the SBI would have just made it in a way for them to earn it without gathering resources and stuff like that. Of course, that would have been a little bit more harder, since you have to go back to 2015 and change the core setup of the whole thing. Okay, so let's go a little bit more into the terminology. We already know that it basically is the gankers fighting the gatherers, cat gankers, mouse gatherer, in a way that the mouse usually don't ever fight back. They run far away without trying to fight. And the reason why it was like this, is because of the ability in the gathering set. For example, a gather set has no ability increase from physical ability or physical attack, and there has no magical attack or magical ability increase, as well as there's no healing cast in it, and there is just only escape abilities such as wind wall, ambush, some of the, like, you can even find some shield, a block, sleep from the helm of the fiber set, the cap of the fiber set. And there was no ability to fight back. It was just pretty much your weapon versus what they had. So if you do mathematically, if you have someone who has a lot of HP but only like about 2,600 2,700 or so or something like that, and then you have someone who has like wearing a cloth or wearing a leather that has 25 or 28% ability damage, then when they fight each other, technically the guy with the PvP set will majorly win. The only difference is if the gatherer can win, and that will be explained later, is if the gatherer is higher tier, but again, that will be for much later. So during videos and everything like that, there was always shown, it was a boring content to watch, and I myself never watch anything like that. Just skip through it. If you're fighting a gatherer and the gatherer is not fighting back, or you're just making a bunch of videos you like fighting a gatherer running away like a little mouse or something like that, then I would just skip your video automatically and just close it. But if you're fighting another ganker or something like that, or another PvP players, I actually watch those kind of content. And there's nothing fun to watch a cat versus a mouse. At the same time, back then, there was no risk for the player to fight a gatherer. It's basically you're fighting something that doesn't fight back. And if you don't ever have to worry about that thing ever fighting back, then you're not going to lose your gear from dying. The best thing that could ever happen is if that guy go ahead and goes on a suicidal mission and brings you to another ganker. But again, you can't see the whole map, and you have to like hopefully find a little circle down that shows there's 10 gankers around in order to get to that ganker, and you both can die from that. So again, it was really hectic back in the days, and it technically was like literally low risk versus high reward. But that may have changed just a bit during the 2019, and the reason why I said it has been a little bit changed is because many of the majority of the players now, the old veteran, are up 400 out of 400 on their weapon. So the way to be a ganker on a gatherer, because if you watch a video of someone actually doing this, a gatherer being a ganker, you can never tell the specs. You can't go into the kill board, type their name, and find out their spec. I wish you could, but you can't. So you will have to see that a person who has 400 or 400 on the gathering gear is basically that he's tanky, and his sword is like a tier 5 sword, will be like basically close to tier 7, tier 8 at a 400 out of 400. So basically, a newbie who is just tier sword 0 spec, who is a ganker, will lose to the gatherer. Now, let me show you what I meant about those fights in here. And this is basically what I was putting in here, and my suggestion, I'll say it later at the end. So when we scroll down, and I explained about it, let's go to this video. This is Ashley from Captain Russian. And there was a debate of players saying that, well, actually, I can fight a ganker. And you'll find out that the ganker is actually a gatherer. Listen, if the gatherer fights another gatherer, that's a fair fight. Obviously, there will be some misconception between each other, saying that somehow his weapon was stronger, but that's because they don't know each other's spec, and you cannot inspect a spec person. So if you try to spec a per person to the left, your opponent, you're not going to be able to see if he's 100 or 100, 400 or 400, 300 or 400, or whatever that. And they also won't know how much you have, so it's just a risk, a gamble through that. So, but again, the gatherer versus gatherer will be a fair fight. So when we look at here, we're going to go to number 17 and we are going to try to stop the sound, so that way we don't also get copy strike. Again, Darth Magus is fighting a gatherer in this point. Gatherers seem to have made a mistake. The person's just pretty much just running away. I think we will find another one, I guess. 40. We have a 41. Okay. So there he gets back onto the mount, but I'm sure they're gonna fight each other. Yep. There you go. So again, the Pandemic doesn't have an increased ability, and Darth Magus doesn't have an increased ability. And as you see, Gatherer versus Gatherer, it is the same. It is fair fight. We have one at 112 over here. So another fight. And the majority of these people actually shows that the fight is basically Gatherer versus Gatherer. Again, he's fighting, he's gonna dismount them. And once again, even if that person is a greater nature, which during that time they were OP, they're not gonna be like that great. Most of the time it should have been him having the advantage. Just trying to look at the stats just a bit on top of the left side over here, what's going on. He should have technically have a small advantage, but again, we never know the spec of each other, so we don't know who has the advantage during spec time. Again, if this was a different person, such as the old leather one that came 1v3 back in the days, not the one that we see right now, that's a fucking meme. The back in the days, and then he would have definitely won. But again, it's Gatherer versus Gatherer. There's no increased bonus for either side. It's just pretty much them fighting normally. And he does get the win in here, obviously. Just gonna fast forward that shit so you can see it. And then we have a 339 Gatherer versus Gatherer again, which is, if we look at over here, 339. We're not gonna watch everything, but during the 329, you see it's a Gatherer versus Gathering. Again, we look at some of the other videos that people are saying. I'll be on PvP Black Soul and gathering content, and we have a normal match of, again, no song, somebody. Again, another match of gathering versus gathering. Let's fast forward this a bit. He joins the fight. Again, he is a gatherer. He's not a PvP player or anything like that. And PvP player does not use fucking Lumbo either. During that time, he did one, and then he, I guess, run away or something like that. But again, during these video, 217, another one, 312, another one, 415 is the only time that the person fought back. And during this time, we never can tell. Again, we never can tell if the player, if the other, I can't tell always spec because I can't go back into kill board. But again, like I can't tell if he was T4 or anything like that. But again, he's wearing a tier 8. And it seems that he's overcharged, tier 8 overcharged. We don't know the spec, but he definitely beats the other PvP player. But again, the only time that you can actually do this, and it is shown through many videos, is if the gatherer is tier 8 high spec versus someone who is low, like a newbie, like a tier 4 or tier 5. Again, very not an even match. Now we're gonna go to this video and watch what we basically see. And I picked this video because I have so many videos that I can pick. Shut that off. I have so many videos that I can pick out there. You can just look at it yourself. Just look for gathering, ganking, and stuff like that, and seeing how many fight backs. Majority of them is actually like this. So we have the first one at 109, and here it is. He's over there fighting. He's obviously now down, and he's not. Oh, was that a perch? Oh, that was a nice perch. I think that was a perch. Again, the guy is trying to run away. He is not going to fight that. That was actually harvest or sleep. But there's literally nothing he can do. Something I want to check a bit a second. 1 second. Holy shit. Serious? Yeah, not that. There was something over here that I want to check real quick. Sorry about that. I just found out something interesting, in which I like to see. He's actually asleep, and the person is not outlaw. So that was not a current change, not a change from that time, but a change that where Gatherer was abusing the portal, and then they make outlaw. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I have some actually information, and I'm gonna save that clip too. We're gonna go to 233. Alright, hello Garf. Oh, I heard his name before. I know I did. Again, the person double dash, start fighting. The other person just what? Why isn't he fighting? Why can't he fight back? Do you know why he can't fight back? It's because the majority of the players know that they're at a disadvantage. The new players do not know this, and I definitely did cover it in the top 10 video for Gathering. Top 10 things you should know for Gathering. He knows he's at a disadvantage, and maybe he also knows that he's not super high spec. But again, the other player is also at high tier, and it's not a fair fight. So again, we have another one. I can keep going. I can show hundreds of video like this from 1 year ago or from the present. Again, yep, and that's true. So let me show you something different between that. Is that I made a video, and this video is the top 10 things a gatherer should know, which is over here. Top things, no, top 10, sorry. Top things that gatherers should know. And when I look in here, I said what will happen if I start healing as a gatherer. Now there's a little lag in here from the server because I'm still doing what's it called? I'm still doing this videos during the DDoS. So that's my queue. I do heal for 30 in town with the set that I have for PvP or healing or PvE. I do 30 on my queue, which is my rejuvenation. In here, I heal for 19, and I'll show you the stack each, plus the spiritual seed. $511 versus 800. That's my normal in there. So if I try to use my W and my E, and I'm trying to like fight or run away with this, it's not gonna do shit. So I did put it over here. Yeah, I think it was number. I think it's between this one, between 13 and yeah, I think it's between 13. Where I start saying the difference. And it, I don't think. I think if I put it down, oh, there it is. There is one right here. So number 13, gather gear are at disadvantage versus PvP gear. If you see videos of gathering running, it is because majority of them know that they may not stand a chance. Many are scared, but gather gear is at a disadvantage versus a PvP gear. So here's an example. There's videos of me of people saying that I am literally like, if you don't have a purge or anything like that, it becomes unkillable on a druid. And I show videos of 3v5s and stuff like that you really have a hard time killing me. I will actually show it through here as well. I will go into my channel. Yeah, I will go to my channel and show that. So I actually want to show this one specifically. And basically I went out there as a gatherer to see if I can able to survive. And I went with big gears because that's how a gatherer should do when it loses. So during that fight, and it's going to pause a bit because I'm actually talking and pausing it. As you see, I'm actually talking in here. But again, when I'm actually fighting, I went into the dungeon. And if I go into the dungeon, I can always survive till the end. Sorry about that. So let's push it forward. Alright, so they are on me. I had to use my E, my W, my ambush to try to get away. And my block. I do not need all of that to heal this, and again, it doesn't heal much, not much at all. Again, I go through this, and as I get really close, I use an invisibility potion, or I would have died. If you see my skip runs, all my skip runs, you'll find out that I'm using always at 75 to 100% of my health. So again, look at that disgusting heal with. No, seriously. Let me pause it back and play it. That was disgusting. There's an E and a W. That's about 1,100 to 1,200 in heals. That doesn't even compare to heal me. Because obviously gathering gear does not have 48 to 58% healing cast. Which means I can't heal at my toppest. So again, I am trying to survive this as much as I can using block. And hopefully, I could have died there. Well, technically, I would have been knocked down. Hopefully, the guys would be able to catch up to me. But again, I go to the bottom. I use again to heal. And it's still a full health. That should have been full health. Instead of full health, I still can't heal to the biggest. But I was able to manage to get to the all the way down here. If that was outside, by the way, I would have got my ass kicked. And again, during the fight, if I scroll forward a bit, as I'm running away. There is not even a way for me to survive the heal when I do it right here. Yeah, impossible. So that's just to show you one part of why the gatherer always has a disadvantage and why back then people call it the mouse, the cat versus the mouse. A player would just run, he knows that he's at a disadvantage, but nowadays if you have a tier 8 gatherer and the other players is actually tier 4, we'll laugh at them. We'll literally laugh at them. I have videos of me on a T4, by the way, flat, T4 on a Spectre shoes, and I'm just laughing all around them, like everything around them, because they won't be able to kill me even though they're PvP and I was gathering at one point. Because I'm higher spec. So let me actually take this off. Take this one off. Then explain my suggestion. So, yeah, oh yeah, I'm supposed to show you that video though. Let me pause this. So their battles like this. And I actually can put it very, very fast, can I? Like, oh, I can only do it ×2, the speed. That's fine. So let's actually fast forward all the way to the danger zone, so you can see it. Right. All right, so now my guys were dying basically. They didn't stick to me. So the mistake was they didn't stay too close to me, so I can heal them, and the PvP pushed me away. In return, I said to myself, I'm gonna make sure that these guys do not catch up to them on the bottom, and use a fear and push them back. During this time, they're all on me. We have crossbow, we have fire staff, we have glaives with a stun, a holy healer. We have a lumbo, I think, in here. And I don't know if there's something else in there, but yeah. See? Look. That is a good heal. And again, I didn't use my D. That is another good heal. It's not the lower one. Is really good heal. So again, let's try to chase me during these fights. And I think I get to a point where we do like scare them as we come back. But again, they couldn't take the healer down real quickly. So we had to back up again. But during that fight, again, the person, if I was gathering gear, Johnson would have died so many times. Look, he's back to full. I mean, he even tossed trash in here because of how easy it is to escape that. Look, they even look at this. Look at this. I have a fear, and when I do the fear, I am in combat for 20 seconds, which I am not able to move into the portal. Look at this. So now, look, E and W to heal fully, like 70 all the way to 75%, and then I am in here. Now my E and W is on cooldown, and my fear obviously is in cooldown, but I wouldn't use it because I'm trying to get inside. So now they're trying to kill me. Nope. Look at this very closely. I already used W and sacrifice to fully heal, and my E is about to come up, but I'm able to zone in. So I would have been at full health this whole time. Again, let's look at some of these fights right here where we were outnumbered. So we are numbered here. We have 3, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's just 5. Might be a little bit more. 2, 3, 4, 2. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 versus 3 during this time, and they do have a healer. But at one point, my heals are so good that they can't kill them. And when we coordinated to kill the healer with the fear, the healer died, and it was just a one-sided battle now. Because they have to kill me and they can't kill me. You see? It's very much different. We even had a fight where the person was using tier 8. So we had these people right here, and we have a tier 8 claw and a tier 8 black hammer. Black hands. So we kill the guy over here. He actually loses him. The guy mounts out, runs away. We taunt them so they can stay fight. And they did. They stayed through the fight. Look at that. They try to get me down. As I get down, look what happened to Johnson. He gets solo, goes invincible, and I tell him, get out of invincible, I got you. Look at this. Right there. I could have killed him, but nope. Super big heals. You can't do that with a gathering set. You'll get your ass fucking kicked if you try to do that with a gathering set. So again, they tell me to stand back. I didn't know about combat loot, but look. Boom. We took their like T8 gear, some of the T8 trash, and we got a swift claw out of that. You try to do that with a gathering set, you're gonna get your fucking ass kicked. So let's enter in my suggestion. There's always a cat and a mouse. The mouse will fight back nowadays, 2019, if it is a big gathering T8 with high spec 400 or high spec just 200 300 or 400 400, and then the other person is just T4. Even if the person do fight back, they'll realize the one with a gatherer is tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, and they fight a PvP who is about the same level, then they realize they might fight back, but then they realize that they're not going to win. In the end, they'll start running away. However, the big tier 8 high spec versus just a newbie T4, the T4 will definitely lose during that time. That's where people will probably come out and say, I get ganked by PvP and I can defend myself. Yeah, you're the fucking exception because you're already high. It's like fucking fighting a baby, something like that. There's a disadvantage between that. And I see this in many videos of like that, people taking advantage of newbie and making content. During this fight, I call it the new zone PvP battles of 3 men. I'm gonna change it. It's like 3 men being outnumbered and stuff like that. But none of these videos do I ever call them Like, do I ever call ourselves OP, the best, the greatest? We can actually kill outnumber. The healers is the best. I don't do that because one, the guys who we fought are here. These guys are phrasing. So I thought they were good when we fought phrasing. At one point we fought phrasing. It's around here somewhere. So we fought phrasing. I thought it was good because we saw them in the season. But we might have just found some newbies. These guys over here, their title, and please do not get offended if you guys ever see this video, the ones who are on this skill. I don't think you actually can see it through here, but oh, right here. I think it says low IQ, and I told the guys on those scores, like, there's a reason why it's low IQ. The reason why we didn't win. Again, the guy who we fought in here that we couldn't die, look at this. In here, the guys who tried to kill us, they were Eagle. And no offense to Eagle, but the people we were fighting here were extreme noobs. And the reason why I say this is because you have 3 versus 5, you have a healer, the guys can't kill your healer, and you still couldn't kill us. You could have at least almost tried to kill the other 2, but when you try to fight me, you couldn't kill me. And it's not because I'm best. Actually, this is probably the 3rd time I ever PvP for the first time, so I'm a fucking noob in PvP. But when you guys try to kill me, look what happened. Look at your fire staff. I am the best fire staff user. Herpy derpy derp. You actually have to use the fire staff against me, not in front of me. He does this a lot too. During the time of the bridge, I think around here maybe. Let me see. There was a bridge time that he did it. I'm just fast forwarding it. There it is. Look. I'm the best healer. I mean, I'm the best. Not healer. I'm the best fire staff. Right here. I got this guy. I'm the best firewall in the server. Herpy derpy derp. I was trying to make it funny because I don't have good editing skills and such. And again, during this time, where we're about to run away into the other zone, he did it again. Listen, when I see this, no offense, when I see this is just a bunch of newbies in here. So whether they have they have good spec like T5, T6, T7, I don't care. They were just playing newbie in here, and no offense to them, but they were just playing newbie. The guys who we fought at tier 8 and stuff like that, there was many chances they could have the guy could have focused on Johnson. Like all of them could have stayed around waiting for Johnson to come up instead of trying to fight us and just kill him. But Johnson just literally dashed, and I give him a big heal. Let's get back to topic. God damn. My suggestion is very simple. And there's 2 of them. There's right here. Let me go back. After witnesses the video, these are my suggestion. Make gathering the same as plate, leather, cloth, and cloth gives 40% to 58% damage, leather gives 25%, and I think an upper, and plate has nothing. Again, this right here was scratched off. Players fucking hated it. Everybody on Discord hated it. So I was like, okay, but you see, when I make a suggestion, I don't fucking make one suggestion, I make a backup suggestion, just in case you don't like it. Here's the backup suggestion. If step 1 is no good, make it so that there is a second tab for gatherers. Gear in there has no ability at all except the buff they give for gathering, such as the gathering yield. Meaning gathering has no ability, and now you get to gather the gathering guild bonus while wearing PvP capability gear. So basically it will be like this. There is a PvP section. You press the tab, which is below this, beep, and when you do, it opens up something empty, only for gatherer. So then you can wear your gathering gear. Now if you die, you lose both of them. Cha-ching! More for the market. Now if you don't die, you actually can fight back the gankers. Of course, this is gonna get fucking hated by everyone because shoot, we have a lot of gankers out there that has no skills, and basically if this happened and they could not gank one person, they'll say, oh shoot, the game is over, GG, we can't even win, bye bye, game over, I quit, and stuff like that. Back then it was the same way. There's people that couldn't gank gather because of the 5 seconds cooldown. When they dismounted, and they did fix it between the mount these days, they did fix it so the mount is much slower and stuff like that, and some other different things. But again, back then they were crying about that just for the 5 seconds. Yet there were many videos of the old veterans, the pro players actually being able to still gank. Only the newbie bitches that couldn't actually do shit were actually crying. In the same way, if this actually were implemented and you have a gathering gear in the back that has no ability, but you also can wear your PvP gear, then obviously these players should fight back more instead of actually running away. Because if it is a 1v1, they have a chance to kill you. And that's pretty much it. I'm about to close this, edit it, and get the fuck out of here.